Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So here we are going to do the second question of today's Leetcode weekly challenge. So here let us first read this question, then about constraint, and then how we are required to implement over the examples and even how it will be generally implemented. So here you are given 0 index 2D array variables where variable of I represent AI, BI, CI and MI and an integer target. And index I is good if the following formula holds. So basically our I which is there that should be less than variables dot length, that is this input which is given to us, and we are required to fulfill this formula, and its output should be equals to target, the target which is given to us. And we are required to return an array consisting good indices in any order. So basically good indices refers to when it obeys this rule. So then it becomes a good index. So now in this first example, we are first given with this at the 0th index, how the thing is that for index 0, variable 0 equals to, variables of 0 equals to, this is the vector which is being given to us here, and in that we are required to perform this particular formula. So according to that formula we are required to do 2 raised to power 3 modulo 10 whole square whole cube, and then again do modulo by 10 as per this formula which is mentioned. As here m1 value is 10, so that's why we are doing this. Then this was required to be performed, and this is a value and this is b value and this is c value. So after we perform that formula, then we got answer 2 and it is equals to target. So that's why we are required to put this index 0 in our answer. Then for 1 when we do that, so we got 0 as the answer, which is not equals to target. So that's why we won't be putting that into our answer array. And then at the end we do for the index 2, here it fulfills that it is equals to target, so that's why we will be putting that into our answer, and that's why 0 and 2 indices are our answer. Then in this we don't have any, basically here we are having just one index for the same, and that is not fulfilling as it we got 1 and our target is 17, so that's why we are returning empty vector. So here we can see the constraints are pretty much low. So that's why whatever is being mentioned in the question, we can go ahead with that implementation as it is. But the thing is that that mathematical formula which is being mentioned, that itself can get us into much complications. So rather than just directly putting into whatever it is mentioned here, we should split this mathematical formula and then proceed then so that while doing all this operation, because the value can become much larger, because we are a raised to power b would be like multiplying a b times, and there could be some values which can be much higher, and that's why when we directly put into this formula and perform, then it can give us either runtime error or even wrong answers. Both could be the possibility. So that's why we are required to split that formula and then we are required to code the same. And that is all we are required to do in this particular question. So how we can split this formula is, let me first explain you that only. Then we'll go ahead with the coding part. So here we can see first we go ahead with this part. So when we do a into a up to b times, right? So how we can perform this thing is we can directly take a for loop for the same, and we can go up to b, right, and directly multiply this, means basically b times we need to multiply, right? So that's why we will be multiplying this a with a itself, and for that particular thing we can take a separate variable so that whatever value is being stored in a, that doesn't gets multiplied again and again with the same. See, at the first moment a is 2, but when we multiply a with a, then a becomes 4, right? So that's why at the next moment we don't want to multiply 4 with 4, right? So in that context I'm saying, so that we need to have a check in our coding part itself. and at this moment only we will be doing mod by 10, so that we can get a revised answer at that moment of time only, and our answer would be at that moment pretty much small. Then after performing this, then comes the part for taking the power of this. Means whatever new value which we will be obtaining here, say x, right? So that x need to be multiplied with itself up till c time, right? So for that also we will be taking a for loop, and in that context we will be getting a somewhat that value which will be much smaller as compared to what we would have got if we would have directly put into the formula. Because here no, here we will be getting the value as it is, but when we do mod with m1, means side by side we will be doing mod with m1. So then at that moment whatever value we will be getting, that would be much smaller as compared to what we have got if we directly put that into the formula, because we are doing side by side mod rather than doing the mod over that bigger value. So that's why this is how the things will easily work here rather than giving us any sort of runtime error or any wrong answer as well. So this is how we are required to do this question. So now let us go ahead with the coding part for the same. So here, whatever I was explaining, I'll now show you that how to code that. See, for ease of access of everything, what I have taken is I have directly taken those as the direct variables from that matrix, and here we are iterating that matrix, and here we don't need n square loop for accessing that matrix, because the thing is that we are required to take each row of the matrix as it is, and whatever variables which are there we are required to extract them, and there are fixed number of variables, that is for sure, as it is mentioned in constraints as well. This is the thing, right? So now what I was saying at that moment of time, that as per this a1, basically a of I raised to power b of I. So here we are taking one variable u, and now what we are doing is this u at the starting we are keeping it as 1, and now we are multiplying that with a from 0 till b minus 1. We are multiplying that and doing modulo by 10 side by side, because we are required to do modulo by 10 as well. So that what we are doing here, and then we are whatever value we got here from the u, now we are giving that to a new variable v. Reason is the same as it was earlier, and now we are making u as 1 again. So now what we will be doing is, because whatever value we would have got at this moment, we were required to do basically multiply that value with itself c times, right? So that's why now we are taking a loop till c, and side by side we are doing modulo by m, which was mentioned here, right? So this for loop we will be calculating that part. So now after we got the whole answer which is contained in u, we will be checking that is it equals to target. If that is the same, then whatever index at which we were there, so we will be putting that into our answer, and then at the end we will be returning our answer. So this is how we will be doing this particular question, and as you can clearly see, this is order of n solution, right? Where n refers to the length of this particular variables vector or vector, that is a sort of matrix which is given to us. So this was all for this particular question, but before that let me tell you the time complexity is basically order of n here, and the space complexity here is we have not taken any extra space, just variables are there, so that's why space complexity here is order of 1. So this was all for this particular question. If you have any doubt you could comment that down, and if you have like any other suggestion, that also you can comment. And if you really like this video, do like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also share this among your friends as well. So this was all. Thank you.